Some people move through life quietly, and strangely, no one ever manages to control them. They don't argue, they don't explain, they don't compete for validation. Yet somehow, they're untouchable. Psychology calls this emotional independence, the ability to stay grounded while others try to pull you into their chaos. In this video, we'll break down 7 silent behaviors that make certain people extremely hard to manipulate, pressure, or emotionally influence. These behaviors aren't loud, they aren't dramatic, but once you notice them, you'll never see people the same way again. Stay till the end. The final behavior changes how you understand silence itself.
Behavior 1. They observe before they respond. Emotionally strong people create distance between emotion and response instantly. Instead of reacting, they switch into observation mode. They notice micro-expressions, small shifts in posture, changes in tone, what's said and what's carefully avoided. They read situations the way a scientist reads data, calmly, objectively, without emotional distortion. Psychology calls this cognitive empathy, not absorbing emotions, but decoding them. While most people rush to fill silence, these individuals use silence to collect information. They understand one rule clearly: reactions leak data, and manipulators depend on data. So they reveal very little. They wait. They understand first, then speak. And that alone shuts down manipulation before it even starts. Because when you stop reacting, people start revealing.
Behavior 2. They don't overexplain themselves. Emotionally secure people say what they mean once. They don't repeat themselves out of anxiety. They don't rewrite their thoughts to be accepted, and they don't shrink their truth to avoid discomfort. They've learned a psychological truth most people miss. Chasing understanding often creates confusion, not clarity. Their confidence comes from an internal reference point. They know who they are and what they meant, even if others pretend not to understand. Over-explaining is often a trauma response, a sign you've had to defend yourself too many times. But emotionally grounded people break that pattern. They don't offer extra details to twist. They don't expose emotional openings to exploit. Their boundaries speak louder than explanations ever could. And when your words stop shrinking, manipulation loses oxygen.
Behavior 3. They regulate before they react. Most manipulation strategies rely on one thing: triggering emotion before logic can intervene. Emotionally strong people interrupt that process. They pause, even briefly, and that pause creates a psychological barrier between stimulus and response. They breathe. They internally label emotions. I feel irritated, not attacked. They ground themselves in the present moment. This is emotional regulation, the ability to steer feelings instead of being driven by them. Here's what matters most. When someone doesn't get the reaction they're fishing for, their strategy collapses. No drama, no escalation, no leverage. Their calm isn't silence, it's clarity. And clarity cannot be manipulated, because control ends the moment emotion stops leading.
Behavior 4. They don't chase people, they choose them. Chasing someone is emotional investment, and emotional investment is exactly what manipulators look for. Emotionally strong people understand something crucial. Healthy relationships don't require pursuit. They don't force connections, they don't fix people, they don't convince others to stay. They've learned that chasing love never creates respect. It only teaches people how little you'll tolerate. This mindset comes from secure attachment, where self-worth isn't tied to someone's presence or absence. When someone pulls away, they don't panic, they evaluate. They look at consistency, respect, emotional tone, and if the energy isn't mutual, they step back quietly, without anger, resentment, or dramatic explanations. Their peace matters more than inconsistent attention. And the moment you stop chasing, power quietly returns to you. Behavior 5. They trust patterns, not promises. Words are easy. Patterns are honest. Emotionally aware people judge trust through long-term behavior. They watch how someone acts when stressed, corrected, embarrassed, or told no. They understand intermittent reinforcement when someone behaves badly, apologizes intensely, then repeats the same behavior. That cycle creates confusion and emotional dependency. But emotionally strong people don't fall for it. They compare the promise to the pattern and choose the pattern every time. If the apology is loud but behavior stays the same, they treat it as information, not transformation. Because evidence always speaks louder than emotion.
Behavior 6. They protect their energy without guilt. Emotionally strong people treat mental energy like athletes treat physical energy, with intention. They recognize draining conversations, one-sided dynamics, slow emotional erosion, and they respond early, not after damage is done. They walk away from chaos, confusion, and constant emotional labor. They know the difference between helping someone and being emotionally used. This isn't selfishness, it's emotional hygiene. Their rule is simple. If it costs me my peace, it's too expensive. And because they can walk away, manipulators lose their strongest leverage. When guilt disappears, control disappears with it.
Behavior 7. They use silence for clarity, not control. Silence is misunderstood. For emotionally strong people, silence isn't avoidance, it's diagnosis. When they go quiet, they observe. Who respects the pause? Who panics? Who becomes defensive? Who turns aggressive? Silence removes emotional noise. Distance exposes truth. Without pressure, patterns emerge clearly. Motives surface. Emotional maturity, or lack of it, becomes obvious. And because silence doesn't feed attention or control, manipulation suffocates. Their silence isn't about power, it's about understanding. Because silence reveals what words try to hide.
True strength doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from refusing to be controlled. When you understand your emotions, your patterns, and your boundaries, your reactions stop being weapons others can use against you. These silent behaviors aren't about being cold. They're about being conscious, calm, and aware. And if you've ever felt drained, confused, or subtly controlled, this video wasn't random. If you enjoy psychology explained simply, quietly, and honestly, subscribe for more, because clarity changes everything.